we go. Thankful to be alive on this, the 24th day of December, 2K19. Not only that, folks, it's Christmas Eve. And I bet some of you are already scratching your heads. Have I done everything? Have you completed your preparation list, if you will? You know, things that the presents you gotta buy, food you gotta, and speaking about food, I hope you remembered to include the ingredients for your chow chow, which we talked about yesterday. Just be ready, just be prepared to have a really nice Christmas. And I say nice because I want it to be enjoyable, I want it to be safe, and I do hope that you find some time to reflect on the meaning, the true reason for the season, yeah? It's not just about partying up a storm and giving presents here and giving presents there. I haven't bought one present, you know? And I'm not ashamed because every day of the year is Christmas Day for George Granada. Yeah, man. Hello there. Let's see how things shaping up this morning. Ernesto is first, and I'm chuckling here because I know Penny has been trying and trying and trying to get in there first. Well, you're getting better, Penny. You're second this morning. Congratulations, Penny. Anthony DeRiggs is there saying, good Christmas Eve morning. Hello, Anthony. Nice to see you. You're early as well. Fitzroy Adams is there. T.F. Richards saying, family. Good morning from cool Brooklyn. Gee whiz, boy, he's all over the U.S. And he says, yes, I'm home for the holiday and not in the truck. Boy, I certainly hope your family enjoys having you and you enjoy having your family. Kathy Roberts is saying good morning. Arthur Langine is there. Kathy Roberts is saying Merry Christmas to you guys as well. And Merry Christmas to you too, Anthea, and everybody else. Folks, so nice. So nice of you to join us here this morning. Oswin Lewis is saying Merry Christmas to one and all. Just let me bring up the feed there. Nice to see you folks. Folks, it's Christmas. But this morning we're gonna show you a video that has a lot to do with democracy. Yeah. The question is being asked here, or well, a statement is being made actually. Why Labour lost? And they are referring to the recent British elections. Oligarchs are claiming gaming democracy. Kind of confusing, isn't it? Well, wait until we get to that piece and you'll find out what it's all about. And then we do have the national report for you. And I haven't spoken with him, but one of two things, I'm hoping, one of two things will happen. Ray is either going to pop up on the big monitor here, or he's going to be strolling in through the door. But I do expect that Ray will be with us on this Christmas Eve. Boy, am I anxious to hear what he has to say on Christmas Eve. Hello, LMA Jackson. LMA is saying, Merry Christmas, George, no sound? You gotta be kidding, LMA. There's all kinds of sound going out of here. Turn on your speakers. Just make sure you're not on mute, okay? Bernard Gilbert is there, and hello, Margaret. She's saying good morning all, and a Merry Christmas in advance to everyone. Merry Christmas to you too, Mags. Delon Deschamps. Now, I haven't seen this one before. Well, Delon, welcome to the Good Day cast. Saying good morning from Trinidad. Hello there, Trini. Trini, should have been with us yesterday, man. We were talking about your chow chow. We actually ran a video yesterday of a Trinidadian preparing chow chow. I guess you guys are busy doing that today, as well as pastas, eh? Jeez, nice Christmas stuff. Nutris Williams is saying good morning. Good to see you, Nutris. Kipling Francis is saying good morning and wishing all a safe and enjoyable Christmas. And if it is God's will, a bright new year. Yes, it is God's will. And that we have a great year. Let's get ready for that. Who else is there this morning? Who else is there? Hello, Sharon. She's saying good morning and a blessed Christmas to all. You bake more cake, girl? Hey, Sharon has been busy preparing for the festivity. And I do wish you and your dear family a wonderful, wonderful season. Thank you so much for being so kind, not just to me, but to us here on Gudday Grenada. Ryan Jabon saying good morning, George, from a cloudy and gray Orlando, Florida, 56 degrees. You're like a thermometer, Ryan. Every morning he has to give us the temperature. 56 degrees in Orlando with a high of 68. Not bad. Pleasant Christmas Eve. All goodies cooked. Curried lamb and braised seasoned. So he's having lamb. What about the ham? Okay. John Nosy Neck. Hello there, John. God bless you, my friend. Thank you so much. He's saying good morning, one and all, and he's wishing everyone a wonderful Christmas. Kathy Roberts says, looking forward to the program this morning. Kathy, we're happy to have you on board. Manusart Alexander is saying Merry Christmas to everybody. Well, for those of you who wrote to Santa Claus, you can follow NORAD on the internet or on some of your television stations. See how close he is. Okay. John Nosenek says, dropped out already. Slow connecting people. John. My prayer for you is that you have good internet in 2020. Ryan Jabon says, in the USA, we're trying to spit out oligarchy rule and further embrace Jeffersonian democracy. Good luck, Ryan. All right. He's saying honey baked, less salt ham bought. Honey baked, less salty ham bought. Okay. Wayne Francis saying good morning and a Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you very much, Wayne. Do appreciate it. Now, folks, why labor lost? The oligarchs are gaming democracy. The oligarchs have discovered the formula for persuading the poor to vote for the interests of the very rich. Think about that. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. The piece you're about to see was done by somebody named John Monbiot. Check this out.
A lot of people are blaming Corbyn for the result of this election. A lot of people blamed Hillary Clinton for the result of the presidential election that brought Donald Trump in. Now, Clinton and Corbyn are opposites as far as progressive politics are concerned. People have blamed the opposition in India for the re-election of Narendra Modi. They've blamed the opposition in Australia for the election of Scott Morrison, in Brazil for Jair Bolsonaro, similarly in Hungary and Turkey and Poland and the Philippines. Actually, blaming isn't going to get us very far at all, because what we're witnessing is a global phenomenon. Something big has changed. The oligarchs have discovered the formula for persuading the poor to vote for the interests of the very rich. And that formula includes massive lying and cheating on an unprecedented scale, mobilizing social media particularly to generate mendacious, manipulative adverts and memes and conspiracy theories in order to swing people round or to turn them off from voting altogether, pushing forward killer clowns like Johnson, like Trump, like Modi, like Bolsonaro, who will do whatever the oligarchs want but present a sort of almost amusing face to the public, and so we laugh along with them. And then they learn from each other, they teach each other. In fact, very often the same political operatives will hop from one campaign to another, constantly refining the model, refining the formula. So it's a mistake to fixate on one leader or one political party and say, oh, look how badly they failed. Sure, there are failures. There was a lot of internal division within the Labour Party. That really didn't help. There was a lot of disarray over Brexit, with a lot of wobbling about what the Brexit position should be. Lots of people really liked Labour's manifesto. So it wasn't the policy which was the problem. And I don't even think primarily it was the leadership which was the problem, but any Labour leader putting forward those policies whose aim was to transform this country would have been demonised and ripped apart. The fundamental problem is the incredible grip over our imaginations that the billionaire press still exerts, combined with highly effective and misleading use of social media. This is a global phenomenon. Something huge has changed. People who wouldn't have stood a cat's chance in hell 10 years ago are suddenly winning elections all around the world at the moment. Why is that? Because they have worked out the formula for how to do it. If there is a formula for how to do it, there must also be a formula for how to resist it.
But how? Tell me how!
One of the things we need to do is to ensure that people are much more aware of what is fake and what is real. Dark ads on social media telling total lies. Facebook, Google, Twitter, they're all deeply culpable in this. So we must defend ourselves from lies, and that requires digital literacy, and there are ways of doing that. On the day of our general election, in Finland, a 34-year-old woman, Sanna Marin, was chosen as their Prime Minister, and she's the complete antithesis of Boris Johnson. She could not be more different. There was one crucially important thing that Finland has been doing for the past 5 years, and that's investing very heavily in digital literacy, in helping people understand how they can be manipulated online. Finland has been judged as the country with the highest resistance to fake news now. Now, obviously, we can't expect Johnson or Trump or Modi or Bolsonaro to introduce an effective digital literacy campaign because they don't want their own lies exposed, but you don't have to rely on governments to do that. So the Democratic Party in the US has now produced a guide to confronting online lies, putting massive pressure on the social media platforms, on Google, on Facebook, on Twitter, to just take a completely different attitude to the laissez-faire one that has dominated them so far. What we need to see amongst progressive parties all over the world is a coalition against fake news.
So you would say that white supremacist tied publications meet a rigorous standard for fact-checking?
When you look at the only Labour leader who has succeeded in recent times, Tony Blair, you see someone who has pretty well gone along with the agenda of the billionaire press. I mean, he went to great lengths to butter up Rupert Murdoch, potentially the most dangerous man on earth. The fear, the worry is that he had to do that in order to appease the billionaire press, and that if a Labour leader doesn't do that, they can't succeed. If that is the case, then we have a real big structural, institutional problem, and it is called the media. I think there's a pretty horrible atmosphere developing at the moment, a real sort of sense that people want to purge. Got to get rid of all those people who wanted a different country, get rid of all those people who supported Corbyn. But it seems to me that in this renewed, furious public argument between Blairites and Corbynites, or whatever you want to call them, we see people really arguing in the wrong terms about the wrong things and on the wrong scale. They're looking inward, whereas actually they ought to be looking at the political system as a whole and how we can radically change that. The problem we face at the moment, almost regardless of who is in power, is that we have a very top-down 19th century model of politics. What we need to replace that simple linear top-down political model with is what I call political rewilding, a system which is run and owned by the people. We're beginning to see very powerful examples of genuine people-owned grassroots politics developing around the world. And yet this is not reflected in mainstream political theory at all. We don't need to wait for government to do this for us. Government is not going to do this for us. We start doing it at the municipal level, in the towns and the cities. So where there are favourable local authorities, we put pressure on them and we work with them to design these completely new grassroots politics. And then once we demonstrate the model, what you find very rapidly, and this has happened in other parts of the world, other people want it. They see that in their neighbouring town, there's lots of exciting things happening which they don't have in their own town. So the demand for that new politics begins to spread and begins to grow and gradually can transform the nature of the whole nation. And then it's much harder for the oligarchs to get a grip over political life. We also have to attend to the short-term crisis that many people in this country now face.
Even though most of us are really hungry, we have to be careful with our food. So we try not to eat a lot in one day.
Continued austerity, continued exclusion and marginalisation. There's going to be a rising tide of xenophobia and hatred. It's even central government policy now. They're going to attack Romani gypsies and travellers. That's in the manifesto. So the first thing we need to do is to stand in solidarity with everyone who is likely to be victimised by this government. We double down on our efforts to help the people who are being marginalised. We have an overtly racist Prime Minister. Just since the election already, we've seen a marked rise in racist assaults. No one must be left to face the consequences of this election alone. I mean, my big hope is that that result is going to spark a much wider discussion about what needs to change. We need not just a change of government, we need a change of political system. We know that just as there is a formula for the oligarchs to take power, there is a formula for defeating them and for ensuring that there's a far more effective and robust democracy than we've ever witnessed anywhere. And I'm beginning to see the first strands of what that formula might be. And I actually think it's very exciting. So yeah, this is a time of despondency, but it's also a time of hope. Double Down has been achieving extraordinary things, reaching millions of viewers, making the films that you're not going to see anywhere else. And this has been made possible by the fact that it now has over 1,000 patrons. Come and join the network, helping Double Down News to get even bigger and more effective than it is already.
Folks, I gotta confess, that was an awful lot to absorb in a very short space of time. But if you got some time over the next few days, go on back to the site and listen to that again. Thank you, John Monbiot. Thank you. Ryan Jaban has this to say. He says, yes, friend, the oligarch billionaires believe that their big money can buy politicians like Johnson, Trump, and Modi, and the impoverished. But oligarchy is not democracy and does not put people first. So, when the masses of people realize that they've been had, then they turn against big money and establish people first new political systems. Grenada is in my mind. Thank you, Ryan. John Nozinek says, educate the people to see through the smoke and mirrors. Absolutely. And John, that's what we're trying. That's why we run pieces like what you just watched. Yeah. As a Brit yourself, do you recognize Mr. Monbiot? He's an author and a journalist, as I understand it. Okay, folks. Let's take our first little break here, and we shall return with the National Report.
On behalf of the Hardware and Appliance Department, we would like to thank you, the customers, for shopping with us throughout the year of 2019.
And we would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a bright and prosperous 2020.
Season's greetings from your family at the food fair. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We here at the Hubbard's Lumber Department would like to say happy holidays to one and all. Thanks for your support and all the best for the 2020.
Happy holidays and warm wishes for 2020 from the management and staff of Hubbard's Agency Department.
On behalf of the management and staff of Jonas Brown and Hubbard's Building Supplies, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, our valued customers, for your support during the year 2019. And we look forward to your continued patronage throughout the year 2020. Happy holidays to you.
From the management and staff of the Hubbard's Motor Department,
we thank you for your continued support throughout the year. We wish you a very Merry Christmas and a productive 2020.
Happy holidays!
Why wish upon a star? For a bank is better by far. Whatever you're wishing for this Christmas, we'll give you low interest and no fuss.
Co-op Bank is making Christmas wishes come true. Fix up your home, treat your loved ones, and get everything on your Christmas list this year with our no-fuss loans. As we count down the 12 days to Christmas, you can win awesome prizes every day. Special terms and conditions apply.
Christmas wishes come true with Co-op Bank and you.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
GRENADABROADCAST continues to celebrate 25 years of partnership and growth. So this December, we're giving every customer the chance to spin and win. Just pay your bill in full on or before December 18th. Then, on Wednesday, December 18th, join us at any GRENADAB customer care location. Spin to win giveaways that will make this season even more festive. Hams, groceries, gift vouchers, wine, electricity vouchers, and more. Join the celebration. December 18th, spin and win with GRENADAB. Visit our website or Facebook page for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
Ministry of Infrastructure Development shows that work on Western Corridor remains priority on the government's list. Details to this story and more in the National Report. Welcome back. With the details to the news for Monday, December 23rd, I am Sherian Noel. The Ministry of Infrastructure Development says the Western Corridor remains one of government's strategic priorities for 2020. With land slippage in the Molyneux area becoming an increasing cause for concern, Permanent Secretary Mrs. Marina Jessame told the Government Information Service experts in the field must get involved since the problem is technical in nature. Mrs. Jessame says discussions have been held with development partners with assistance from Ms. Naja Andal, the Ministry's Chief Technical Officer. She says the Western Road Corridor is of major priority.
The whole road will be addressed. But because of the slippage, we deemed this section of the road as an emergency delivery that we need to do, and means that we need to change the terms of reference for that section of the road and hire additional firms to do geotechnical designs. What I understood from the technical persons is that that section of the road is actually resting on a gravel heap, as we say locally. In technical terms, they call it conglomerates. I'm not a technical person, so I cannot go in detail in that. But it tells us that because of the condition of the soil, we have some challenges there. I've read newspaper where I saw that persons give a lot of recommendations what we're supposed to do, and that we didn't act early enough. I could confirm that not because the road is slipping now, we are looking at the road. The project, the Western Road Main Corridor project, is on the books for more than a year.
Conducting geotechnical studies is one of the first steps to deal with the problem at Molineux. The study will look at soil condition and other pertinent areas that can help the ministry to further understand the gravity of the situation.
We cannot just touch the problem at the surface. I have visited the homes of some of the residents there. I have seen the cracks inside the homes, walls, and it is separating. And we did issue letters even before the diversion of traffic on the 13th of December. We issue a letter to say that people may wish to consider relocation. We are not there as yet, but we advise them on the level of the hazard because we are concerned. So between now and December, they might not see any actual work on the road because we must get a firm hire first, and we hope to start in January as soon as we can.
As to how soon the geotechnical firm will be on the location, PS Jessime says it will depend on the process, as there first must be 3 quotations.
The terms of reference, what we designed, you must publish it for sake of transparency. So it's not something that we could call 3 persons to come and apply. We must have at least 1 or 2 weeks publication. So I cannot promise that they will be here on island until 6th of January. The process we are going to is what I would think I could explain is that once you have the published terms of reference, then the companies will express interest based on what they see on the papers. And that is what we will use to evaluate their proposals. What we will do is that once we have the proposals, what we can control, we will fast track. We have a ministerial evaluation committee with engineers and other persons with knowledge of that process so that we can evaluate the 3 proposals. We are also speaking with personnel at the Caribbean Development Bank to give us feedback because this is something that we don't have all the knowledge in-house, so you want to engage other persons who can help you and give advice.
She says work should take place before the end of January 2020. Moving along, action will be taken to manage areas of the Mount Morris Main Road being used as a detour for vehicles traveling to and from St. George's from the western side of the island. The road is serving as an alternative because of the land slippage in a section of the main road at Molineux, St. George. Mrs. Marina Jessime, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Infrastructure Development, says they are aware of the problems along the road due to the heavy flow of the traffic. She says this will be addressed to make it more comfortable for all users.
I have seen that because vehicles are going outside of the road, we have some muddy areas, and you would see that we will take action to make sure that we continue to manage that so it will not become another challenge for persons to get stuck. One of the main challenges we observe, though, is that the drivers of the large trailers, we don't see them up the western side, but we continue to see the big trucks traversing through Mount Morris. Now, Mount Morris is an area where you can, especially the area between the Western Main Road junction towards the intersection on top of Mount Morris before you go further. We would like to call upon all the truck drivers to use the Willis area, to use the Eastern Main Road.
Mrs. Jessime says Superintendent in charge of the Traffic Department, Randy Connaught, also confirmed in previous meetings prior to the closure of the road that trucks should use the eastern side of the island.
We agree that the advisory is that the truck drivers should use other routes, like alternative routes, but they continue to go up the western side. And because of the width of the Mount Morris Road, it poses a challenge. I've got calls over the weekend at home where trucks or buses or whatever because of the traffic jam, as we see in the area, who end up in a drain, in a ditch, and then we are not in a position always to come out as ministry to assist. So I want to call upon all the truck drivers, please consider the use of the Eastern Main Road. Please consider the use of Grenville Vale. These are other options to take you to the western side if you have to.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Did you join the public service on or after February 22nd, 1985 and have since retired? This might be important to you. Government understands that the NIS pension may be insufficient to take care of your needs. So, while it awaits the court's ruling on the matter of pension for public officers, government has taken action to protect your quality of life so that you can take care of your needs in the meantime. Persons who joined the public service on or after February 22nd, 1985 and serve continuously in an established position for a minimum 26 years and 8 months and retired at age 60 may be eligible to receive an advance payment, which when combined with NIS represents 70% of their last salary. For more information, call or visit the Pension Secretariat in the Department of Public Administration, Ministerial Complex, 440-3767.
Welcome back. After years of dialogue, the day finally became a reality. A welcoming ceremony was held at the Morris Bishop International Airport on Saturday for the inaugural American Airlines flight from Charlotte Douglas Airport in North Carolina. Chairperson of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Mrs. Brenda Hood, described it as a special moment to be able to welcome the flight.
The Grenada Tourism Authority has been trying to be part of this route for many, many years and for many months. And today we are happy that the Airlift Committee, all of the members of the Airlift Committee, the GTA, and the Minister for Tourism have been able to get this flight coming to our destination. We are going to work diligently to make sure that we market the route, that we market the destination, that we market North Carolina, so more and more persons will come to the destination.
Cathy and Joseph, manager of American Airlines for the Eastern Caribbean region, also spoke of the relationship between American Airlines and the GTA. She says they are proud of the growing presence in Grenada and are especially proud of the hard-working team in Grenada who work tirelessly to strengthen their position as the leading airline in the Caribbean.
Today, we also celebrate continuous growth and our commitment to Grenada. Many of you have played a role in making this flight a reality, and I would like to thank you for your efforts. We will continue to work collaboratively as a team towards the success of the Grenada market. American has been flying to Grenada since 2008 on our second go-around, and this new route will complement the existing daily service to Miami. What's more remarkable is that customers flying from Grenada will have another option for direct access into one of our main hubs. And there's something special about the main hub in Charlotte. It has countless connecting flights and boasts more than 680 daily flights. Customers around the world, as Mrs. Hood mentioned, can now enjoy one-stop access to Grenada. Anywhere around the world, one-stop access. That's a stop in Charlotte, and then you're here in Grenada. This will definitely help others to have access to what this beautiful island has to offer.
Deputy Chair of the Grenada Airlift Committee, Sir Royston Hopkins, was also present at MBIA to welcome the captain and crew on board the American Airlines flight. American, he says, has been serving the destination as far back as the 1980s.
I'm proud to be sitting here, or standing here today with you, with a new service from Charlotte, a service which I think would benefit the Grenadian community, the hotels, the country as a whole, because it's one of your major gateways. And Grenada, I don't want to steal the minister's thunder, but just to say, I feel very proud to have been on the groundwork where we established the start of American Airlines to Grenada, and I'm very proud. Welcome.
Tourism Minister Honorable Clarice Modest Kerwin says Charlotte Douglas Airport ranks in the first 9 hubs in the U.S. and as such must be an important hub when speaking connectivity.
Today we are so proud of the daily flights from Miami, which serves us extremely well for U.S. visitors, for Grenadians who have visited the United States or are planning to, and also for our very important economic pillar, the St. George's University, of which many of the students come from the U.S. Either they live in the U.S. or they make connections to the U.S., but this is a very, very important flight for us.
A plaque was presented to the captain and a gift bag to the first officer on board the American Airlines flight. And with this story, come to the end of the National Report for Monday, December 23rd, 2019. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Sharian Noel, thanking you for viewing.
Boy, regarding that, the main story there about the slippage up at Molinare, you might remember a couple of months ago, we went up the West Coast doing a documentary, and I showed you the cracks that were taking place, okay? Not just in the road, but buildings on that hillside. Well, have you seen that? I mean, that is scary stuff, folks. Scary stuff. It's just a huge gape now. Boy, I sure hope they can find a resolution to that. By the way, a couple of comments here. First of all, Anthony, hold on, not Anthony, I think it was Margaret who was asking a little while ago, who gave permission for construction to take place in that area? And John's asking the same question as well. Well, Mags, I ain't going there. Anthony DeRiggs also has some concern. He says, you know, when will they fix the Mabuya area? That makes two places. Anthony, the whole island's falling apart. Not just the slippages you're looking at here now, and I've seen some other horrifying video as well. But you've seen the erosion that's taking place at certain beaches around the island. I mean, come on, guys, come on. I'm not sure that we will have a complete solution for either of these problems, but we are contributors. Let's not deny that. Then the second story there was about the new American Airlines flight, and Arthur Langine is saying, thanks, Brother Bishop, for the airport. Anthony also says, tourism is good, but agriculture and healthcare need some attention too. Absolutely, Anthea. Anthea says, that's great news for me. Charlotte is a hop, skip, and a jump from Atlanta. So rather than a trip to Miami, whoa, I love it. Hey, there we go. Anthea, that means we're going to be seeing more of you, right? Okay. Folks, I mean, should I go directly to him? He looks like Santa Claus this morning. I'm going to take a little break, and then we'll get to Ray.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Christmas safety tips. Always unplug Christmas tree lights before leaving home or going to sleep. Check your tree lights and outdoor lights for damage each year before you use them. Discard lights with frayed wires, loose connections, and cracked sockets. Do not overload your wall outlets or extension cords. Remind children never to touch lights or outlets. Select lights appropriately. Never use indoor lights outside or vice versa. Happy holidays from Grenlec.
Can I have a chicken lunch, please? Large.
Real nice today.
Mm-mm. I don't want that.
But you just asked for a chicken lunch.
I don't have problem with the lunch. Afraid the container.
What is the problem with it?
These styrofoam containers, they don't good for the environment. They shorten with life.
What foolishness you telling me? So what you want me to use?
Put my food in this.
Where you get that?
At the food fair, where you could get all biodegradable food boxes and disposable food supplies like cups, plates, anything you could think about. Name it, it's there. And they don't harm the environment. Food fair, taking the lead in cleaning up and protecting the environment. Hey, like you take me advice, you get in your biodegradable food supplies.
Well, girl, I supporting who's supporting the environment. That is why I shop in at food fair.
Food fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets. Products distributed by Hubbard's agency, Kirani James Boulevard.
Why wish upon a star? For a bank is better by far. Whatever you're wishing for this Christmas, will give you no interest and no fuss.
Co-op Bank is making Christmas wishes come true. Fix up your home, treat your loved ones, and get everything on your Christmas list this year with our no-fuss loans. As we count down the 12 days to Christmas, you can win awesome prizes every day. Special terms and conditions apply.
Christmas wishes come true with Co-op Bank and you.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Ray Roberts, would you agree with me that the man looks like Santa Claus this morning? How are you, Ray?
Well, that would be a broken Santa Claus. Good morning, George. Good morning to your viewers. I said this will be a broken Santa Claus. You looking for a rich Santa Claus?
Pardon me? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
All right, I said good morning to you and your viewers. And I hope you're looking for a rich Santa Claus that can really reward you. This is a broken Santa Claus.
Well, I mean, it's just the red. You just lit up the screen there this morning, and we're seeing you nice and bright this morning. So are you fully in the mood for the Christmas season?
Well, I always had a great appreciation for Christmas. Of all the holidays, I fancy Christmas the most.
Okay.
And I don't do much, but what I do, I enjoy it. I was on the beach this morning, as usual. And I'm trying to do a little cleanup here, and we'll go to town to pick up a couple of things. Tonight at 11, I'll go to church, and tomorrow morning at 7, I'll be on the beach. And then I go to my sister's home to have lunch.
Ray, speaking about the beach, do you know a lady by the name of Marcel Toussaint? Marcel's on the beach pretty much, she and her husband, every morning.
Right. That's Shoma's sister, I think. I think that's Shoma Well's sister. Yeah, they bathe down Camahan Parkway.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, high up.
She always has her smartphone with her, and every day she takes pictures of, granddads at that time of the morning and posts them on Facebook. Well, she's now I noticed over the past couple of days she's starting to post videos. But I was looking at the video she posted this morning, Ray. The water is starting to get kind of rough down there.
Not really.
Ray!
When I was a little guy, it used to be big waves. This morning, yes, a little rough, but nothing to talk about, George. It's a little, you're not seeing the sand as you normally would looking down. It's a little dirty, I may say. But it's okay. I don't consider it at least rough.
And in the video she showed this morning, I didn't see anybody in the water. I just saw the breakers.
Yeah.
We're not talking, high feet of breakers, but we're talking the water is rolling in there. And when you step into the water,
right.
Pardon me?
You're right.
Yeah.
A little more.
Your buddy John is referring to you this morning as Red Ray. Mark, pardon? Your buddy Margaret says, Ray, you could have fooled me. That ain't no broken Santa. He see Christmas.
That means she's selling them 2 barrels, George.
Okay.
She's selling them 2 barrels and a credit card.
True, Max? Something I didn't know? Okay. Ryan Jaban says, resplendent in red. Don't worry, Ray, you have company. Everyone is broke.
Well, I'm not too sure about that one. If you're in the shrimps business, you shouldn't be broken.
Ryan is also asking his granddads, is the water cold down there this morning?
I don't find so. I mean, some people say, I just walked in. I don't know. I don't find so. To me, it's okay.
One of the reasons why Sharon and I haven't been going to the beach a lot these days is because, one, we found that it's no longer as warm as it usually is. I'm amazed at how warm that water can be when you step in there at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And two, because of the breakers, Sharon has a back issue and it's difficult for her to get bounced around by the swells, the way she does. So we had, it's over a month now, must be going on a month and a half since we've been down there. Anyhow, bro, listen, what's up your sleeve this morning? It's Christmas Eve.
Well, George, I certainly hope that we all enjoy a wonderful Christmas. Whatever we have, I hope we all find time to take a break and to at least enjoy and remember the good things that Christmas is all about. But George, I would also want to extend my condolence to my late friend Anselm Dubergs, who was president of the Trade Union Congress and president of the Commercial and Industrial Workers Union. He died yesterday evening.
Oh my gosh.
And he spent much of his life, struggling for workers' rights and championing workers' issues. In the last couple of years, I think he had a stroke and did not recover. And may his soul rest in peace. To his wife, Sharon, who I know very well from all of us, we certainly bring you our solidarity and wish you God's blessings in this difficult period. Well, that's for it. George, I'm glad to hear that Andal has reopened. I went there yesterday to do a little bit of shopping and not decorated as perhaps it would have been, but it's good to see some of the employees back there. And quite a few of us were in there when I went there about 4 o'clock. There were maybe about a dozen of us inside there trying to buy a couple of little things. So that's positive.
I'm not sure what happened, Ray, but yesterday, it must have been about 3 o'clock, I was walking by there on the way to the bus terminal. And a few minutes before that, I had been advised that he would be reopening before the end of the day. Well, when I went by the store on Melville Street, it was still closed, okay? But I'm glad to hear you say now that you were actually in there, so you guys were able to do some shopping. What about the restaurant upstairs?
No, that Melville Street business is no longer theirs. That's, as far as I'm told, it's with George F. Huggins. They have purchased it.
Okay, so the
I'm a
one you're
Caroline.
talking about was where? The one on the Carenage?
On the Carenage.
Okay.
That's where I normally would go. That's my favorite, actually. You stop and you walk in. That's what I like on the Carenage.
Yeah, yeah.
The one in St. George's is now, as far as I'm told, it's going to be Huggins Foodland or whatever the name is.
Yeah.
It's Foodland, I think. So next year, that's going to be something new for us, I guess.
Did you ever find that, it was just on Friday that Peter Ando held a press conference and told us, it's up there on the site, you can look at it, that it seemed not very hopeful that they would reopen before Christmas. What happened? Any idea? Have you heard?
Well, I would think any good conscious person, any person with any form of decency, would certainly recognize that 200 people home cannot be a good thing, whether it's January, February, March. We all have a special love for Christmas. So I would think, if I may say, rational voices certainly came within arrogance and had something done. I was happy to hear the president of the Trade Union Council and all the affiliates of the Trade Union Council making public government to recognize, look, Andal wasn't the first company. There were many others I know about, quite a few when I was in the trade union movement, who didn't pay their VAT. They collected our VAT, they take it, they invested it, and they couldn't pay it. And we still accommodated them because we wanted people like us to be employed. So I think that's what the reality is. Sensible voices prevailed.
Oh boy, that's really...
I'm not saying he shouldn't be paying taxes. I'm saying yes. He indicated, I think I heard it on the press conference, that he was prepared to pay X amount and over a period of time try to pay off the rest. I think that's the approach that should have been from the very start. Yeah.
I think that's a very welcomed happening. I know a lot of people who are happy about that. I'm saddened, though, that the restaurant on Melville Street's, well, pretty much gone. I don't know if Huggins is going to try to emulate that in any way, shape, or form, but that's sad. Yeah. So.
Well, George, there's also a good side. I'm sure a friend, Dr. Winthrop, and I hope Charles will perhaps share it with you too. I'm sure he celebrated on Sunday. We didn't win, but we came that close to winning. Scored 315 for 5 and had the Indians working hard to win that match. And we weren't expected to do that well. In fact, we were expected to be, beaten very quickly. So in 3 matches, we were beaten 2 games to 1, but we performed exceedingly well in both games. So again, 2020, at least we finished 2019 with a positive.
Yeah.
And let's hope it can blossom in 2020. And George, one other thing that I think, Saturday coming is the Grenada Sports Awards. That should be a pretty interesting ceremony. I listened to a little piece from Anderson Peters. He's foregoing his 2 years remaining of his eligibility at the college to become a professional athlete. And as he quite rightly said, he's number 1 in the world. And obviously, if he's number 1 in the world, why not make as much cash as you can? You may not be number 1, forever, but you're number 1 now. So I think he has done the smart thing. It's good to be an amateur, but I guess in this world, it's better to use your talent to earn yourself a living. So I want to wish him well. I think all Grenada, certainly would wish him well. And I think at the function, he's obviously the sportsman of the year. There is no one close to him. To me, the only one that is close, actually, is another athlete, Lyndon Victor, and the one that is third is a footballer named Jamal Ray Charles. So I think he certainly will be celebrated on Saturday. For me, the women section, I would certainly choose Akila James, who is a tennis player, and to have reached the top 1,000 in the world in one of the most competitive sports you could think about. tennis is extremely competitive. And to be in the top 1,000 in the world, it says a lot. And in fact, it's no fluke because when she was in the Pan American Games, she played on clay, which is not a favorite court for people who play in the United States and around the Caribbean. Generally, it's hard court. She was beaten 7-5, 7-5 by a higher ranked player in the round of 32. So for me, she certainly would edge out a young lady called Haley Hazard, who is also an excellent athlete. She is certainly destined for recognition, at the highest level. Runs pretty good 100 and 200 meters times as well as the 400. She lives in the United States but of Grenadian parentage, represented Grenada at the Pan American Games. And I'm sure she will qualify for the Tokyo Olympics.
Ray, let me ask you this. I'm going to put you on the spot as an avid sportsman. What sporting discipline do you think is going to highlight 2020 from where you sit?
Well, it's obviously going to be track and field. Track and field going to dominate the international media up until the Olympics. The simple reason is that it's a sport that is, to me, not to me, it is the most popular sport around the world can find a runner, an athlete, whether he's a world class or not. So running is a common thing in any country. You really don't have to put on a facility. So track and field always hold the spotlight when it is an Olympic year. And this year is an Olympic year. So Grenada and across the Caribbean and across the world, I would think athletics will be the thing to look out for. And more so with some of the small islands like Grenada now producing world-class athletes. I mean, I know some people will say that they travel to the United States and that's where they develop. Well, that's what it's going to be for a very long time because as you recognize, you have 400 meters in Grenada. Maybe the next best person is George Grant, who you'll beat by a mile. So there wouldn't be any competition. So you got to go elsewhere, George, to find somebody that is equal to your standard. And therefore, that's why our athletes and sports people have to head to, well, mainly the United States.
All right.
Cricket towards the end of the year will come on stream because the World T20 Cup is in Australia. And Australia is really a land of sport. They are just, sports mad. So towards the end of November, December, West Indies are the defending champions, and I'm sure they are looking good now. They seem to have found new spirit and momentum with Pollard captaining the team. Let's hope that could be sustained into 2020 and beyond.
I should try and track down our good friend Winthrop boy because he must be a very optimistic man for as far as the West Indies are concerned for 2020.
Well, George, I think cricket has done so much for the West Indies that we all, yes, Usain Bolt and all the other great athletes we can think about who have excelled tremendously across the Caribbean and certainly worldwide. Track and field got much more recognition than cricket. I mean, when I was somewhere this year, and when I said Grenada, the next word was Kirani James. It wasn't cricket. I mean, the people in Germany weren't familiar with cricket. Yes, some are, but the vast majority, they're familiar with Kirani James and Anderson Peters. But I would think we need cricket because it perhaps gives us that opportunity to beat our colonial masters at any time and anywhere. So that's why cricket have this special thing to us. Imagine we beat England at Lord's, we beat them anywhere we meet them. I mean, Caribbean people take a pleasure in beating England. So that's why, for us, cricket will remain a standard bearer.
Mm-hmm. All right, my friend. Well, I'll tell you what, it's just about time for us to scoot, Ray, but let me see, today is Tuesday. Are you going to be with us next Tuesday?
If you open for business, I'm open for business, George.
I'm open for business, but I've been warning people for the last couple of days.
Unless you have a big party that you want to get
Nah,
us
nah,
the festive
nah.
thing, so we can't wake up on Tuesday.
Nah, I've been invited to a lunch tomorrow, Christmas dinner tomorrow afternoon, and I think that's the only plan I have for the holidays. Only plan. But I'm looking forward to getting some sleep tomorrow and on Thursday. Now, I am looking forward to seeing you next week, but I'm going to jump the gun and ask you to just very quickly share with me your dream for Grenada 2020.
Well, I would say in a sentence or two, George, nothing more than a more purified country. I certainly would hope more people recognize that short-term gains can come through all the legal means, but we would want to see a country that is, a standard bearer in just about every area of life. So generations to come will certainly model themselves as a result of our behavior. So that is my golden wish for Grenada. And to add that, I would hope there are more people like yourself and George Rome who are brave enough to use the media for everything, not for selfish gains, but to use it for what is worth using the media for.
What's intended for.
That is correct. So my best wishes to everyone.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. And thank you for your weekly contribution here. And by the way, Bradley Vespri, I think it was. Do you know Bradley Vespri?
Yes, he promised to come and at least challenge me. I know he will not win, but Bradley, I'm open to the challenge still.
Well, he said hello to you earlier on, and he's sending here God's blessings to you and says, keep going.
Good, man. All the best, Bradley. And Margaret, I expect a barrel and a credit card, nothing less.
Margaret. You should be seeing her soon. Take care, bro.
All right. God bless. See
God
you,
bless
man.
you
Good
too.
luck.
All right, Mr. Ray Roberts and Pilgrims. That's going to take us to 2 minutes after 10 o'clock. Not bad. We're getting out of here on time today. And just before we go, as always, a parting word from the Holy Scriptures. Yes, sirree. James chapter 2, verses 14 to 19. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or a sister without clothes and daily food comes to you. Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, go in peace, keep warm and well fed, but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is that? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. But someone will say, you have faith, I have deeds. Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith by my deeds. You believe that there is one God? Good. Even the demons believe that and shudder. James chapter 2, verses 14 to 19. Okay, Pilgrims, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much. Ryan says, happy holidays and peace be upon you. Well, peace be upon you too, Ryan, and all of you in the audience. I do hope that you'll enjoy the next couple of days immensely. Don't overdo it, everything in moderation. And just be thankful that we do have a Savior. Supposedly, tomorrow we celebrate his birth. I don't know. There's some who argue as to when it should be celebrated. Totally irrelevant. I celebrate him every single day, as long as I open these eyes. God bless you, my dear friends. We'll see you on Friday morning. So long.